Fateful encounter awaits you. I found the journal on my usual path through the park, its leather cover worn and weather-beaten, as if it had been waiting for me. Curiosity piqued, I sat on a nearby bench and began to read. The first entry sent a shiver down my spine. It described a morning routine that mirrored my own. The writer's voice was hauntingly familiar, detailing mundane events in a way that felt too personal, too intimate. As I flipped through the pages, I realized with growing dread that each entry was a snapshot of my life, down to the smallest detail. The journal ended abruptly with a dire warning: beware October 13th. As days passed, I couldn't shake the journal from my mind. Each entry replayed in my thoughts, like scenes from a film I couldn't escape. On October 10th, the journal's warning loomed over me like a dark cloud. I searched the park every day, hoping to find who had left it, but the paths remained empty, save for the rustling leaves and silent trees. My nights were plagued with nightmares, shadows flickering at the edges of my vision, always just out of reach. I began to notice uncanny similarities in the people around me, gestures, and words that seemed plucked from the journal's pages. October 12th arrived, and with it, an unsettling sense of déjà vu. The journal had described this day, down to the rain that began to fall, drenching the city in a cold, relentless drizzle. I decided to confide in my friend Mark, who listened with a skeptical smile, dismissing my fears as overactive imagination. But as we sat in the park cafe, sipping coffee, his face suddenly paled, eyes widening as if he had seen a ghost. This is in the journal," he stammered, pointing to a page I hadn't yet read, describing our exact conversation, word for word. October 13th dawned with an eerie stillness. I stayed home, every creak and whisper of the house amplifying my anxiety. As evening fell, the air grew heavy, pressing against my chest. I glanced at the clock, its hands creeping towards midnight, and knew I had to return to the park. The path was deserted, shadows stretching like clawed fingers in the moonlight. In the clearing, a figure stood waiting, their silhouette achingly familiar. Heart pounding, I approached, and the figure turned. My own face stared back at me, eyes that mirrored my own, lips curling into a knowing smile. And then, darkness.